the governing body has concluded that there is no need to make a rule regarding toasting and clinking glasses.
The Jehovah's Witnesses just changed yet another rule that they shouldn't have had on the first place. And in the process, they accidentally disproved their own religion. A very old-looking Stephen Led wearing glasses recorded this video for his followers, where he proudly announces that toasts will now be okay. Him and his buddies decided. And since they decided it, it must be true. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's break it down. After a couple of news about conventions in Albania and some Mexican country, Stephen Led finally gets to his point. But before, he is going to try to explain away how come they had a rule on this in the first place. And he can't help but to be condescending, as always.
Consider this simple illustration. As children, our parents gave us rules to keep us safe. They likely said, "Always hold my hand when crossing the street." Our parents made that rule to protect us from real danger. But as we got older, we no longer needed to hold mom or dad's hand. Did the danger go away? No. Instead, we learned to look at the traffic in front of us and cross the road safely. After all, it would seem odd if a healthy 30-year-old man still needed to hold his mother's hand to cross the street.
So in this illustration, they placed rules forbidding toasting like 100 years ago because Jehovah's Witnesses were babies then? Are the current Jehovah's Witnesses more mature than the ones who received this rule? Or is Stephen Led just doing what Jehovah's Witnesses do and placing this as an example that only cosmetically looks like what he's talking about in the surface? To me, the fact that he sees his followers as babies is already telling enough.
If no Bible law is directly involved, then we use our Bible-trained conscience to make a good decision.
No, if no Bible principle is involved, then the governing body will make up whatever rule they want to force people to do what they believe they should do. There's nothing in the Bible about gambling or celebrating holidays or wearing grungy clothes, yet no Jehovah's Witness would do that, not because there's a Bible principle, but because the governing body decided to shun anyone who does that. This is just gaslighting and rewriting history.
How can we make good decisions about the use of a certain symbol or custom? Well, here are 3 basic principles to consider. Number 1, would Jehovah be offended by this?
Jehovah doesn't mean God. It just means the governing body. There's nothing offensive about betting a 20 against your body during a game, but it is offensive to the governing body, so that's offensive to Jehovah as well.
Number 2, how would this affect others in the congregation? Romans 14:19 and 21 remind us, "So then, let us pursue the things making for peace and the things that build one another up. It is best not to eat meat or drink wine or do anything over which your brother stumbles." Even if a symbol or custom isn't wrong in itself, we need to consider how others in the congregation might view it. We would never want our actions to offend others needlessly.
This just means anything you do can be bad if someone else thinks it's bad and you shouldn't do it anyway. It only means that the rules revert to whatever the most Karen-like Jehovah's Witness in the group believes. And it works as a way to save face. It's technically not okay to do it now. It's simply that the rule saying it was forbidden is gone. But that doesn't mean that it's okay now, just that it's not okay anymore. Is that clear?
Number 3, how is this symbol or custom viewed by people in my culture or community?
And this is what breaks Jehovah's Witness doctrine. He is gaslighting his followers into believing that anything else they don't celebrate is because of how it's viewed in the world. But this is a lie. Why can't that Jehovah's Witness celebrate Valentine's Day, for example? Nobody celebrates it as the celebration of Saint Valentine. It's instead a celebration of love and friendship. They can still say that things like the 4th of July is a celebration of a different kingdom other than Jehovah's. But what about Mother's Day or Father's Day? Women's Day has never even been based on a pagan celebration or idolatry. Can Jehovah's Witnesses observe those? Can they celebrate Thanksgiving?
Although there may be reason to examine the origin of a particular custom, in some cases it is more important to consider what the custom means to people at the time and in the place where one now lives.
Perfect. Then this means that Jehovah's Witnesses can also celebrate Halloween then. Literally nobody today believes that putting on an astronaut costume and going trick-or-treating is worshiping anything other than diabetes. If what matters is how people in our area view the custom today, and nobody in my area relates to Halloween with any sort of religion or worship, are the Jehovah's Witnesses in my area allowed to come to my Halloween party? Well, no, because, spoiler alert, it's not about Bible principles. It's about what the governing body has decided. If you want to find the actual logic behind this speech, you need to remember one thing. To a Jehovah's Witness, there is nothing more important than appearances, as Stevie is about to tell us now.
An example that illustrates the importance of timing is string lights. Many Bethelites here at Warwick enjoy putting white string lights on their balconies as decorations, except during November and December. Why not then? Because in this region of the world, string lights are closely associated with Christmas, a false religious holiday. So our Bethel family avoids even the appearance of participating in that false religious celebration.
This is surprisingly not the most ridiculous thing you need to do as a Jehovah's Witness, although it does come pretty close. Imagine having to uninstall your fairy lights every winter simply because it might look like you're celebrating Christmas. It's not like their balconies are facing the street either. Most of them face other buildings inside the cult compound. But this is what it means to be a Jehovah's Witness. It's not about avoiding doing what's bad. It's about avoiding looking like what you're doing is something that the governing body has decided you cannot do, even if you're not really doing it.
Another example is toasting or clinking glasses. For years, Jehovah's Witnesses have avoided this practice because it may have had origins in false religion. However, now, in most places, toasting or clinking glasses no longer has any religious association. It is viewed simply as a friendly custom.
This is a huge lie that Stephen Litt says about toasting to make it sound like things have changed since that prohibition came into effect. He says that Christians avoided toasting because it might have had origins in false religion. But those origins are hundreds, possibly thousands of years ago. Literally nobody has believed you clink glasses to scare bad spirit for hundreds of years. Not when this rule came into effect, not today that this rule is coming down. The material conditions and the social contracts around toasting have not changed. Regardless of what Stephen Led is suggesting here, the only thing that has changed is the rule.
Therefore, after prayerful consideration, the governing body has concluded that there is no need to make a rule regarding toasting and clinking glasses. Each Christian should use the principles that we have discussed in this update and his own Bible-trained conscience to make a good decision.
Yep, now Christians don't have a rule around toasting, which doesn't mean that toasting is okay, by the way. Simply that now you won't get shunned if you decide to do a toast as long as you don't do it in front of a Jehovah's Witness who still believes toasting is bad. Why? Well, not because Christians have advanced in their understanding of the Bible, not because the Bible says so, but because the governing body has decided.
Are we saying that toasting is okay now at all times and in every situation? Of course not. We are simply saying that there is no need to make a rule. Each Christian will need to use Bible principles to make a good decision in each instance.
They are such cowards. Why can't they say one way or the other? Why can't they say toasting is okay or not okay? This is so manipulative because it's how Jehovah's Witnesses get the illusion of choice. But it detracts from a principle that every single cult has to follow. We know how to do things best. Every cult believes that they know how to do things best. By muddying the waters to avoid criticism on this flip-flop of doctrine, the governing body is watering down the assertiveness that makes cults attractive.
Well, what have we learned? Jehovah doesn't burden us with endless rules.
The governing body has literally produced a book with endless rules for Jehovah's Witnesses. This is more double talk by Stephen Litt. It's like if I predict that they're gonna announce that they're allowing birthdays in the annual meeting next, and then 2 minutes later that I don't think that they'll ever allow birthdays. When you do double speech to people indoctrinated to believe you're right, you can't lose.
Brothers and sisters, please know that we love you all very much. From the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses, this is JW Broadcasting.
No, it's not. It's a governing body update. Why do they do this all the time? They name the thing. Is it because they're too lazy to prepare a full JW Broadcasting around this, but also saying this is the governing body update number whatever doesn't sound as nice? This is the latest in a series of small cosmetic changes that the Jehovah's Witnesses have done to their doctrine, like allowing women to wear pants in a kingdom hall or allowing men to grow beards. And if you think this is all leading up to allow birthdays, you're wrong. At least I think you are. I don't know. I might be the one who is wrong. And I forgot to tell you that I believe this is leading up to them directly allowing birthdays earlier today. So I can't even double speak to save face if I'm wrong. Birthdays, Mother Days, Halloweens, and all other celebrations go uncelebrated by Jehovah's Witnesses, not because the Bible doesn't like them, but because they remind periodically to Jehovah's Witnesses that they are special, that they are the chosen ones by God, that they are not like the others. Beards weren't like that, not only because clearly governing body members wanted to grow a beard, but because it only annoyed those who wanted to grow beards, and it was a source of too many questions. Same with pants. The world allowed women to wear pants a century ago. Insisting on that rule didn't make them seem special, it just made them look weird and extremely outdated. And the same thing goes with toasting. The only times toasting was a thing that a Jehovah's Witness avoided doing were when they were in secular events, and not raising a glass when toast is happening is considered an insult. So I met loads of Jehovah's Witnesses who followed a toast when there was one. Plus, toasting is something done impromptu by other people to highlight a third person. And you know who I bet would love to receive a toast? Stephen Litt and the rest of the governing body, of course. I am sure someone will raise their glass for a member of the governing body before the end of the month. But after this update, next time you meet a Jehovah's Witness who says that they don't follow man, only the Bible, you should simply ask them, then how come you waited until the governing body decided it's not wrong for you to do a toast? But that's all for now. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, or maybe even donate a little bit of money like these guys right here. And if you are toasting tonight, toast for my health, because I'm getting some minor medical interventions tomorrow, and I am scared of my own blood. Like, I literally passed out last time that I gave blood.